They thought you were done, that when they walked out, you'd stay on the floor, that when they laughed at your ambition, you'd finally believe what they said about you. They expected you to quit, to disappear, to shrink into the shadows and never come back. But what they didn't know is this: you were never the type to stay down. You just needed silence, time, pain. You needed that betrayal to wake up something deeper. Not rage, not revenge, fire. They thought your silence meant weakness. But silence is where real ones rebuild. You weren't gone. You were underground, sharpening, stacking, working. Because real transformation doesn't need an audience. You don't level up by talking about it. You do it alone, in early mornings, in late nights, in pain they'll never see, in discipline that nobody claps for, in the grind that doesn't get posted. And here's the part they'll never understand. You're not coming back for attention. You're not doing this to prove them wrong. You're doing this because you finally understand that their absence was the best gift they ever gave you. Their doubt gave you clarity. Their betrayal gave you fuel. Their silence gave you space to grow louder in your grind. You see, revenge isn't screaming, posting, or showing off. Revenge is success. It's them scrolling one day and seeing your name everywhere. It's hearing your voice in rooms they'll never be invited to. It's realizing they played themselves when they walked away from someone who was just getting started. They don't know how much it hurt. They never will. But that pain, that became your power. Because when you were down bad, when you were alone, doubted, and empty, you made a decision. Not to get even, not to explain, but to evolve. They thought they left you behind, but they didn't leave you behind. They launched you forward, because when your heart breaks and your world burns, you either collapse or you come back rebuilt in steel. Now you don't need validation. You don't need revenge. You've outgrown it all. But make no mistake, they'll see. They'll see the name, the work, the results, the version of you that doesn't chase, only dominates. They'll remember how they left, how they laughed, and they'll have to live with the fact that while they were comfortable, you were becoming unstoppable. This isn't a comeback. This is your awakening. Let them wonder. Let them regret. Let them scroll through your success and realize it was them who missed out. Because you didn't just survive what they did to you. You used it. You bled, you worked, you built in silence. And now, you've already won. Let them pretend you were never there. Let them rewrite history. Let them act like they didn't doubt you. That's fine. You won't correct them. You don't have time to live in the past. You're too busy building the future they'll have to watch from the outside. Because the more they talk, the more you build. The more they doubt, the more you lock in. And the more they disappear, the more time you have to evolve into something unrecognizable. Not louder, just sharper. Not bitter, just better. You are the success story that was never supposed to happen. You are the silence that became a storm. You are the nobody they laughed at, and the name they'll never forget. You don't need to speak. Your life speaks for you. And it says this: I'm not coming back. I've moved beyond you. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them a reaction. Every second you used to waste thinking about them, it now goes into reps, into routines, into reading, writing, lifting, learning. You took your heartache and turned it into a hammer. This is who you are now, forged by betrayal, trained in solitude, and fueled by something they'll never understand. You're no longer just surviving. You're designing a future where your success isn't a peak moment. It's the baseline. You don't chase revenge anymore. You embody it. You walk into places they said you'd never reach, not with anger, but with purpose. You no longer explain how you made it. You just are it. They said you wouldn't do it without them, so you did it without anyone. This is your era of becoming. Quiet, unshakable, focused. You lost people, yes, but what you gained, that's priceless. You gained hunger, clarity, precision, peace. Now, you don't run on motivation. You run on standard. You don't wait for life to be fair. You get up and bend life into what it needs to be. They said you changed. Good. Because staying the same would have kept you in that place they abandoned. You're not here to impress, you're here to impact. You're not back for round two, you're building your own arena. And if they ever come knocking, they'll realize too late. You don't open old doors once you've built your own kingdom. This is your time. And your time doesn't make noise. It makes history. You don't need a round of applause. You don't need to go viral. You don't need anyone to clap for you while you work. That's the difference now. You're not chasing validation. You're chasing vision. Quietly, relentlessly. Because real success doesn't start with hype. It starts in the dark. It starts when no one's watching. When the alarm goes off and you get up tired. When no one checks in but you show up anyway. That's what separates those who want it and those who are becoming it. You used to wonder when they'd notice. You used to look back, thinking maybe they'd regret it. But now, you don't care. You're too locked in. You realize that the version of you that wanted revenge was still focused on them. But the version of you now, this evolved, focused, dangerous version, only looks forward. You train harder, you think clearer, you cut off distractions without hesitation. You're becoming the kind of person that doesn't have time to respond to drama because you're too busy building dominance. They said you were too emotional. Now you're too disciplined. They said you were too soft. Now your standards are steel. They said you'd fall apart. And now, you're solid in silence, building a future no one can shake. It's not about proving them wrong anymore. It's about proving your potential right. You wake up and execute because it's who you are now. It's automatic, ruthless focus, relentless forward pressure. And here's what they never saw coming. You're not done. You're just warming up. The version of you that they thought was the peak was only the beginning. Every day you show up, you multiply your power. You compound your confidence. You're stacking results in silence. While they post for attention, you prepare for longevity. While they chase trends, you build legacy. While they doubt your next move, you're mastering the move after that. You used to want to be seen. Now you want to be unshakable. Your silence is strategy. Your work is the signal. You don't talk about what you're going to do. You do it and let the results talk for you. You let success speak a language they can't fake, copy, or deny. Because the truth is, the most powerful revenge isn't loud. It's disciplined, it's consistent, it's calm, it's walking past the ones who doubted you and not even flinching. It's hearing your name in conversations you were never invited to and smiling because you didn't need their invitation. You built the whole table. The best revenge is making it so far they can't even understand you anymore. They can't relate to your mindset, your movement, your mission. You're not just out of their life, you're out of their league. You don't need to post every win. The people who matter will feel your presence. The ones who doubted you will feel your absence. And the ones who left, they'll wish they stayed long enough to see this version of you. You're no longer chasing the dream. You're becoming it, piece by piece, day by day, in silence, in strength, in absolute control. Because you've learned this. The real flex isn't revenge. It's peace. The kind of peace that comes from doing the work and letting go of anything that once slowed you down. You've outgrown the version of yourself that needed revenge. Now, you only need results. This is your season of obsession. Obsession with improvement. Obsession with execution. Obsession with becoming undeniable. While they scroll, you study. While they sleep, you sharpen. While they talk, you transform. This isn't about a moment anymore. It's about momentum. Daily, hourly, relentless. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you breathe. Everything about you says, I'm not who I used to be. And when they come back, because some will, don't be surprised. Don't be bitter. Don't get loud. Just nod and keep walking. Because you're not the same anymore. You've ascended. And they won't know how to talk to someone who only speaks the language of consistency, effort, and elevation. You don't need closure. You don't need recognition. You don't even need them to admit they were wrong. The only thing you need is the next rep, the next move, the next level. Your mission now isn't personal. It's internal. You're doing this for the version of you that stayed up when everyone else went to bed. For the one who cried in private but never gave up. For the one who kept showing up when no one believed, not even you. That version of you. You owe them everything. And every ounce of effort now is payback to your past self. You're building the future they needed. So keep going, even when it's quiet. Especially when it's quiet. Because the quiet is where killers are made. The quiet is where the climb begins. And the top, that's where your silence will echo louder than their noise ever did. You don't need their apology. You don't need their permission. You just need to keep rising, because that's what you do now. You rise. You rise without announcement. You rise without shortcuts. You rise without needing anyone to see you, until they can't ignore you. That's what real revenge looks like. It's not loud. It's legendary. If this felt like it was meant for you, don't scroll past it. Subscribe to Winner's Frequency and stay locked into your next level.